Hi everybody, my name is Gerone Wright, and you're with me again on my Geronification channel. Okay. In this video, I'm going to be discussing hair loss. Not just of black women. You see the image of the black woman up here. She's actually wearing a Remy style wig. Okay, and the reason why I have a black woman up here is because I'm going to relate to stories as I was growing up about black women with their hair loss that I heard around my household, and but I'm going to be talking about men hair loss, which I am one of them. I have a baldness in the top portion of the center of my head, and I actually shaved it long ago. Once I realized that I had what they call a moon roof, I took my hair off of my head immediately because I was not in denial. I always said that when I was a kid and I was growing up, if that my hair ever got to the point where it looked like some of the guys that I used to see young white men, middle-aged white men, and some black guys even too, where they either had receding hairlines or that bow in the hairline and all that. I said, if we ever got to where my hairline would look crazy and look like it had an M in it or anything, I said I would cut my hair off. And doggone it, as soon as I realized that day, because I had always had a full head of hair, and that day I caught a glimpse, a reflection of myself when I was bending down. I forget where I was, but I bent down and I caught a self-reflection of the center of my head as I was bending down, and it escapes me right now, but I realized, and I never forget, because I took the mirror outside and I actually lifted it up and held it to the sun and looked, and once I seen seen my skin of my head, I said the hell with that, and I took and I shaved my head bald. You know what I mean? And I've been wearing it bald ever since. You know what I mean? And I'm not embarrassed to discuss it. You know what I mean? But later now, here in my paranormal experience and encounter, which causes for me to make these videos, and if you haven't seen my other videos, people, you must see them. I discuss a lot of details about a lot of things that I have actually come to know through my paranormal experience and encounter, which is genuine. But anyway, I have this woman up here. I want to discuss why not just black women, black men, I'm discussing everybody, why there is a hair loss amongst mankind. Okay, and in doing so, I'm going to take us back to the origins of where we actually evolved, and then I'm going to discuss what is happening, what is occurring, and what must be done and what needs to be stopped. Okay, so I hope that you appreciate this video, and I hope that you follow me in this video, because it's going to be very important. Okay, so I'm going to take this woman down. She's wearing a Remy style wig, and this is a calendar, in fact. Okay, and this is a model, and she's wearing a wig. I'm going to tell a lot of people why also, not just against nothing, because this is a top of the line wig. I think this is the best wig in the business when you're getting hair weaved into your hair and everything else. So the Remy hair, from what I understand, is the top of the line. But my thing is that not just wigs. I'm not talking about just Remy. I'm talking about all styles of wigs. I'm going to tell you that they are detrimental to your health. Men that are wearing toupees, they are detrimental to your health. Women that are wearing hair weaves, this is detrimental to your health. And I'm going to explain later on why you're killing yourself. And through a natural process, you are losing your hair. And now you're reversing it, and it's actually causing you problems that you don't even understand or even can come to realize. And I hope that I share light on it in a way that only a layperson can understand, and you won't have to go and ask your doctor, or you won't need a scientific analogy after this. You will actually find logic in the way and through which I'm gifted to explain it, on how and why you should stop wearing these wigs, these hair pieces, and these toupees. It's just not good for you, and I'm going to explain it to you on why this is happening. All right. First of all, why are we losing our hair, including me? All right. I'm going to take this calendar image down, okay, and bring up an image of an ape. First of all, people, we're losing our hair because we didn't have much hair to begin with in the first place. Okay? Our ancestors did not have that much hair, and we have them all around to bear witness of that fact. Okay? We did not have much hair to begin with. We acquired our hair later on through an unnatural process, which I'm going to be discussing in this video as well. Now, this ape ancestor, as you can see, and I think that this is patty cake from the that was created in the Bronx Zoo, born about 40 years ago, which recently died. Okay. Here's another ape, and as you see, none of these creatures have the hair that a lot of us humans, well, not me, have today. These apes don't have that hair. And these are ancestors from which we evolved. This is the closest, this orangutan, I believe it is the closest to having the longest hair. And I'm going to be equating that guy with another humankind shortly here. I'm going to show you something about this. And I'm going to show you what is actually going on and what is happening here. I'm going to bring up another ape. And again, you see a little hair there, but again, the forehead is out and there's no hair on that forehead. There's a receding hairline. That ape's hair is not all the way down. That hairline is going backwards. The same thing on this baby right here. Okay, unless you want to just say it's a large cranium. Now, the chimpanzee is the closest ancestor to that of mankind. And the chimpanzee shows us and demonstrates that, because the chimpanzee is 98% genetically compatible with mankind. Now look at this chimpanzee, people. This chimpanzee, this is one image of one. They do not have hair here in the center of their head there. It's actually a little bit off to the side. And here's another baby. Now these are young chimpanzees, but look, people, they do not have no hair on their heads. And this creature is 98% compatible with us. Look at these chimpanzees, people. Pretty much bald-headed. So where did humans get their hair? Well, through my paranormal experience and encounter, I discovered where they actually got their hair. It's my position that our ancestors practiced an ancient genetic manipulation chemistry that calls for our genes to be introduced to other creatures of our world. And for some reason and all, I can't find those other creatures. But, hold on, I might have it here. But some of those creatures included lions, tigers, bears, horses, and it is my position that through those genetic bridgings and manipulations, different likenesses of mankind was created, and these is how the different long-haired styles of the monkeys came into play. As you see this monkey here looking just like a human, pretty much, with this long hair. It's my position, through the same process that man was genetically altered from its originally ape-like state, that different likenesses of monkeys were created, which later caused for hair coming into play, not just with the monkeys, but with humankind as well. Let me bring that picture up as well. Now, I'm going to get it back around to why we're losing our hair. Here's a smaller version of that image here. I'm going to bring this up. And I had this in my a couple videos ago. It's my position that I can reveal to the world the process that all of these beings depicted, humans and apes alike, which calls for the genetic alterings of our kind, which subsequently gave us these long versions of these hairstyles as we evolved away from these likenesses through that of African, through that of Asian, and to finally European and other culture groups. The further that they evolved, and this is being our Caucasian counterpart, away from this guy, the more longer and luxurious the hair came. Hold on for a minute. Get away from that door. Get away from there, KK. Making all that barking noise. That was my dog barking while I'm trying to make this video. I had to get her away from the door. Alright. You here with me, people? Now I got to sneeze down. I went by this door. Excuse me for a minute. Excuse me. Look at the ape. Well, actually, look at the chimpanzee, the one that we're closest to. Because this is the guy that's losing the hair. Look at how we evolved. Look at the Africans. Look at their hair. Then look at how the hair changed going into Egypt. Look at the genetics of the hair through Egypt, other parts of Africa, and to finally coming out to the Asian worlds. Look at the hairstyles, people. And then to finally the way it got to that through Germany, other parts of the world, and to finally this. Are you with me? The same way that hair evolved through these genetic bridgings and different likenesses of mankind came into play is the same way that these different likenesses of the monkeys evolved, which gave them the different hair variations. So, what is happening? I'm going to go back to the hair now. What is happening with the hair? Why are we losing our hair? Well, it goes back to the body chemistry of what is happening. You are losing your hair if you're one of those, if you want to call it unfortunate ones, that are losing your hair because of a genetic process through which the extinction of this creature is happening. As this creature is becoming more and more extinct, or closer to his extinction, the hair is being lost. Why is the hair being lost? It's my position that the hair is being lost because not just through the chemistries, the warming of the planet, but the rising temperatures in this creature's body is causing for toxins to be dumped into the blood, into the kidneys, which into the bloodstream, which therefore causes for the body to counteract by dumping these toxins out through secretions of the body. Now, what is this? What is it saying? What am I saying? What's going on? Well, I'm saying that the chemistry, not just through the rising body temperature, not just through the extinction process, but through the rising temperatures of our planet and the chemistries of the sun, and the interactions of our sun and the planet's core, what is causing to happen is a rise in temperatures in our bodies, which is causing for the hair loss. Our hair is the immediate place from where our body cools down, sends out secretions, sweat. It's my position that the high volume of toxins in the sweating, as a person sweats, as their body temperature is rising, causes for these toxins to contaminate the hair follicles, and subsequently the hair is lost, because a body is going through a natural process of cooling itself. Well, you're saying, Jerome, This is not possible, because how are some people losing their hair and others are not losing their hair? Well, I'm going to come back to that. But first, let me tell you about the way these toxins are destroying our bodies, and this is how the extinction process is going. Now, where do we secrete bodily waste from? Because sweat is waste as well, too. Through our eyes, through tears, through the wetness. These secretions, in given time, will also cause blindness, mouth, cancers in the throat, urinary tract infections, okay, and any other secreted area through the waste, the byproducts of our anuses. This is what is happening, people, to us, and this is what I, through my paranormal experience and encounter, can feel is happening with the extinction process of where we're at and what is going on with us. Now, you're stating, well, I just said that, Gerone, why are some people losing their hair and some is not? Well, the closer that those are genetically to this creature, or to that evolutionary period, they are the ones that are being affected first. The ones that were created or genetically bridged or manipulated beyond that point are off those that are furthest from it. In other words, there's a genetic link. Those that are closer to this creature's genetics and the process that created this creature and themselves, therefore, are subject to go first. In other words, the first genetically to be created are bridged off this creature. Those that carry those genes closest to this animal are the ones that are gone. Now, who are those people? Africans, Asians, all of the other culture groups that are genetically closer over there to Africans. Then later on to every other, the creations in the order that they were created. And that genetic sequence, I can actually show which ones were created in which order and at which time were they genetically bridged and genetically came into existence. And that order is the order that the extinction process will hit them. So even those that look like this now will ultimately, what happened, lose this through the years. So whereas our Caucasian counterparts may not lose their hair until they, even for females, where they may not see a hair loss until maybe 40, 45, 50, it'll keep happening where each year a greater loss will come, to finally it will go to where they will be just like what is happening to those that are losing their hair now. And I'm going to bring this image up. And these are African American women who suffer from hair loss. I know a lot of women like this. I know a lot of women that wear wigs. I see a lot of women that wear wigs. And you see it today as a trendy style. I see it as a horrific problem that everybody is seeming to turn their heads away from and ignore. But I see it as something that is very horrific, and it's a problem, and I'm going to be discussing that. And then I'm going to try to go back, remember, and going back to where I was just at. I remember when I was a kid growing up in the household, and some of my cousins, and people that I knew, they said that they suffered from their hair loss because they used to straighten their hair, they used to use perms and all of that. And I mean, I heard every excuse in the book why my black relatives and friends and family were losing their hair. So I, over time, as many other people did, accepted that. So now, as I started getting a little older, I started hearing more uglier stories that, okay, black women were losing their hair because they didn't take care of it. I'm like, wow, that's an ugly scenario. I'm saying to myself, you know what I mean? I'm saying, wow, that's ugly. And then they're saying, then I hear the thing about genetics, that this was happening, that where if you were genetically linked to a certain person, then that, I mean, a certain group of people, then this is what actually caused this. And the story went on and on and on to finally, I'm hearing people today talking about how they were they lost their hair because they were wearing wigs and weaves and stuff. That's what the favorite is today is going on. A lot of people are stating, and this is why this is happening. And these are women, by the way, people. So now, and I've been seeing this ugly scenario all my life. I mean, and I equate it to where it's either like cancer or a sickness or disease. When I see this, I even have women that are so ashamed of it, they say that they got into a fight and someone pulled their hair out when they got into a fight and their hair just never grew back. I mean, there are all kinds of wild stories why these scenarios are there. And I'm telling you that the truth in the matter is that you never actually had hair to begin with, and the ancestor in which you are genetically linked has the same problem. And they do not straighten their hair, they do not dye their hair, they do not put hair weave in their hair, they do not comb their hair. They are roaming in the wild. Now, what I'm stating is that because you, this group of people, meaning African Americans, are more genetically closer to the creature from which we evolved, which I'm telling us is becoming extinct. And as a result, it is actually shedding its hair to adjust its body to the process from which its body temperature is rising. Now I gotta get back to that. Don't let me forget why. You know what? I'm gonna discuss that now. But let me bring this image up. This creature does not comb its hair. This creature do not straighten its hair. Look at this creature and look at this creature's baby. This creature does not go to work. This creature is not subject to no stress or duress. No nothing. This creature is in, I believe, the San Diego Zoo. This creature and its baby is struggling through the times of its extinction. And this is why it is losing its hair. Not just this creature, but it's my position that all creatures. Now, why do some people have hair and others do not? Well, if I'm stating that because of body temperature, rising in body temperatures, I'm telling you that these women, although they have the same body temperature, I'm just using this woman as an example. I'm talking about all women. I'm talking about Asian women, German women, all women that can maintain a full head of hair as opposed to their black counterparts or African counterparts. Why their hair is being lost while their hair is being sustained. Most of them. My position is that this woman, although her body temperature is in the normal range of that of this person, the difference is that this person's body temperature becomes to a status of being overheated before this woman does. And that's where the difference is. I don't know if you understand what I just stated. We have two race cars that are racing on the track. These are two race cars racing on the track. These two race cars start out with an engine temperature of 220. In this case, I'm gonna matter of fact, let's take away, because that's the average of a race car. Let's of 97.6 is their start. In the 5th laps of this NASCAR race, this car starts showing signs of elevated temperatures in its engine cooling system, whereas this car is still maintaining its normal temperature of 97.6, where this car is now at 96.8. You see, you get the picture, people? So now let's switch this around to the race being finished, and this car is severely overheated, and as a result, it's blowing coolant out of its coolant system. Now, I'm going to take that and compare it to the lifespans of these two women. What I'm telling you is that this woman system, although they have a normal body temperature reading of 90.7 together, what I'm telling you is that this woman rises to a higher level more frequently above that than this woman does. And this is why this woman can maintain her hair, because she dumps less toxins through sweating into her hair follicles than this woman does. And as a result, these two women, they're two different women, suffer from a greater hair loss than this woman. Does that make sense to you? It should. It should. Now, even though this woman's body temperature, when she is in her cool state and relaxed state, is still 96.7, as is this woman, 90.7, this woman can do the same routine as this woman, daily routine as this woman, but yet her body temperature takes more to increase to the point of 90.8, as this woman here frequently reaches or exceeds her normal body temperature rate and goes to that 96.8 more frequently, because of the fact that she is genetically closer to the creature from which we evolved, as opposed to this woman being further away. And this is why these beings were subsequently bridged over these beings, which were bridged over the beings before, which were bridged over the beings before. The flaw in our genetics well, I can't say a flaw. The reason why these beings are further away from extinction as these beings and these beings is because they were genetically bridged over, just like many other civilizations, with creatures that ran a cooler body temperature. Now, ultimately, these women and other women and men that enjoy the longer hair will one day be looking like this. They will be the minority within the hair group and be looking like this. Their heritage will once become this. And those that have been bridged off of them through the genetic process of manipulation has been going on, I'm stating that there will be a whole nother civilization or civilizations of people through this genetic manipulation process that has been going on for eons. People, let me bring this hair back up. It's my position that such creatures as these orangutans and I'm just bringing this Caucasian woman up just for, you see her? It's my position. It's my position. Let me hold them up all together while I make this point. That all of these creatures have long hair because they were subjected to genetic manipulation. Not per se directly, but indirectly through the ancestry from the genetics from which they evolved. The genetics that I foresee causing this right here is that I have evidence that horses were involved. I have evidence that lions were involved. I have evidence that tigers were involved. I'm telling you people that this is the reason why there is such extreme indifference in these creatures from which all mankind originally evolved from. Now, I'm going to drop all of them. How else can you explain that all man evolved from ape, which subsequently became, and this is a black ape, which created black man, African. So where do you get white from out of this equation? Oh, these are the same apes. Where do you get white from out of this equation? And by the way, people, I love all people. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, or whatever. I'm just going at the truth. I'm telling you that through the process that I discovered, where mankind was bridged over reptiles, lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, I stole that from Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, that the cancerous effects of all of that process from which we evolved is why we suffer hair loss. And it's not just black women, it's some white women, it's women globally, it's men globally, and even me. I lost my hair here too, right up in that area right there, before I shaved it. And in fact, when I still shave it, if I were to let it grow, my hair only grows along the back there, along there, and comes around. I still look good as hell. I had to throw that in there. But my problem is that I realized that I lost my hair through a process that was not natural. Actually, it is natural. It's an extinction process that was tampered with. I may not be here now if that tampering may have not been done. Maybe this creature would have become extinct and been long gone. But that can't be the case because these apes are still here. But they were genetically altered. And I'm telling you that there is a footprint, a fingerprint, there is a blueprint, there is a holy grail that can be realized in the patterns of the hair stemming from the trail is from that of Africa, through ape, through Africa, through Egypt, and all of the Asian worlds, through to all of our Caucasian counterparts globally. And I'm telling you that the causes for monkeys that have hair that looks like this is because they were genetically bridged and altered with the genes of that of ancient horses, with that of lions, ancient lions, and other creatures that are similarly compatible with them through their body temperatures, which allows for these genes to go from one body to the next because the chemistry of the body temperature is the same. However, where the flaw is that each and every one of these creatures, although they have the same body temperatures in most cases, they run hot more quicker than the other one. And in doing so, it accelerates the breakdown, the genetic breakdown of these creatures, which calls for blindness, hair loss, teeth deformities, and more disease. Now, what diseases are we talking about? Well, as your body temperature rises, people, the chemistries released in your body are caused by, in what I found through my paranormal experience and encounter, is for material substances in your body to begin a decomposition process, meaning rot. And as those properties begin to rot, waste is created in your body. And as that waste is being created, your body is scammering to get rid of it. It's dumping it in everywhere that it can. It's utilizing your body at this point to its fullest. Your body is working in full order to dump these toxic composted materials out of your body. This is what the extinction process is about, people. The first place that it goes, bang, right to the head, resulting in hair loss. I guarantee you, and I don't know it for a fact because I did not research it, but I bet you that these people that have, well, monkeys, and people that have hair loss like I do, i.e., anybody that suffers from hair loss, I bet you that you also suffer from dehydration if you're not drinking enough water. I bet you that you are suffering from frequent urination if you drink an amount of water that you're supposed to. I bet you that you are suffering from urinary tract infections on a frequent occasion. What else would there be? Probably a chronic symptoms of allergies, because now that you're not only fighting what's coming from inside of you, but also what's trying to come in. So the burning of the eyes and all, because your body is dumping these materials. Do you get the picture, people? Am I coming across clear enough for you with this? The reason why we are losing our hair, including me, is because our body is dying, dumping toxic materials from within itself in a way to cool itself down. The same way your furry dog, but he has the ability to regain his hair back in the winter. How your furry dog sheds his hair in the summertime, but regains it back in the wintertime, because they have a balanced body chemistry as opposed to our imbalanced chemistry. Now, having said that, let me talk to you women about those that are wearing wigs. Men that are wearing wigs. Men that are wearing hair pieces. Women that are wearing weaves. Guess what you are doing to yourself? This monkey has a body temperature of 98.7. What do you think would happen to that monkey if you put his hair weave on, put your hair weave on his head or your wig on his head? Over a period of time, that monkey's body temperature would go from a 98 point whatever 7 I just said, or whatever it was, to 98.9, and subsequently keep going higher and higher and higher. Now, as that monkey's body temperature is rising to fight and combat this new elevated sense of temperatures, the chemistries in his body is breaking down. There is a toxic release as this is happening. The blood is boiling. As the blood boils, what happens is overheating. What happens is these toxins are dumped into this monkey's body. Decomposition. The body is rotting from inside out. The body is decomposing slowly. That's the best way to say it. You are decomposing slowly. You are being slowly cooked. And this is what extinction is all about. So, black women, white women with hair, black women with hair, black women without hair, everybody that has hair and everybody that does not have hair. This is through my paranormal experience and encounter. I bet you that if a scientific analysis were now conducted based on what I'm really seeing here, I bet you that they will find that this is the case. Now, there's not being enough noise raised about it. This monkey never straightened his hair. Not that I know of. This monkey never had a perm. Not that I know of. And I'm going over this again, people. But yet this monkey does not have no hair. And this monkey looks dehydrated. We try so badly to have this long hair. We try so badly to be different than that of what we really are. And I bet you that there probably are not too many people that ever stop to say, hey. And I know that there's some strong women that say, you know what, I don't want to wear a weave, I don't want to wear a wig, and they say that, and they can wear short hair, and these women should be applauded. Even women that take and put their images online like this. I cut away this woman's face because I didn't want to put her on there. Even though if you Google bald women or bald black women, you'll see the images of these people. But I cut it away and all because I didn't want to finger nobody. I didn't know if this woman is a mother or whatever. Or if this was up some time ago and she got her hair down and she don't want people to know. But I didn't want to just use it. The only thing I wanted to show is that she was balding along her hairline here and here. And I'm not saying that these black women are looking like monkeys, or I'm not saying none of that. Please, people, don't go there with me. My point is that if you can see that this monkey's hairline along the ears is the same exact way, and the frontal hairline loss is just like these women there, and that monkey is in the wild. And not the only comparison that I can make to them and this monkey is not in likeness and in appearance, but their body temperatures run hotter more quickly than the rest of the women around the world. And this is the reason why there is a greater number of hair loss amongst African American women, and those that have been subject more so to the chemistry of the genetic manipulation process. And this is the reason why you were genetically bridged over, because they wanted to perfect the likenesses of women that could grow hair. And where we at? Oh, here we go here. They wanted to produce images and beings like this. And you wanted to follow with wigs like this. You would be better off bald. Now, this woman, I don't know, you're probably not bald. I don't know if you're bald or not. I don't know what's up underneath the wig. But now that I have this woman up here, this model, I will tell you that women that are wearing wigs, wearing hair pieces, what's happening is that your body cannot sustain itself like this. You lost your hair in a process that your cooling system is trying to cool your body down. You overheat more quickly than those women that are around you in other culture groups. And this is the reason why you lost your hair to begin with, and you have to wear wigs. Now, I don't know if this is your case, young lady, so don't get mad at me if you see yourself in this video. Now, let's just say that you were bald and your body, your hair was lost through the process that I told you, through the chemistry of it trying to cool itself. By you putting a cap back on your head is no different than me having a wool hat on my head year round, in the summertime and in the wintertime. Ultimately, what happens is that if I maintain a 97.6 body temperature, I raise that temperature in my body. And now the toxins are backing up in my body, because now my body is trying to sweat more and more and more. So now it becomes to a thing where wearing these wigs, it starts dumping it in ways that you cannot even imagine. It'll cause depression, to make you cry. Yeah, a mental breakdown. You become depressed. You must cry often to get rid of these tears, to get rid of these toxins. Don't even know why you're crying. Yeah, that's one of the symptoms as well too, people. I see through my paranormal experience and encounter. Allergies make you snot, make you spit, make you cough. Frequent urinating, hot flashes. All of these things because your body is suffering. Your kidneys are screaming on the inside. Hey, idiot, take the wig off. Take the extensions out. I need to cool down. You get the picture? If your car is overheating, or if it's summertime, you don't go out there and put something in front of the radiator to block it from cooling down. Or hold on, better yet, I'm going to give you a better scenario, because I like to make simple scenarios so you can understand. Your air conditioner in your home cooling system in your house, let's talk about the window unit. It needs to be open and cleared in the front in order for the air to blow through to cool the unit. What do you think would happen if you went out there and took a flat cardboard box and blocked the port in the front where it's supposed to actually be sucking in cool air to cool the air conditioner unit down? It's going to overheat, right? Same thing with your body. Now, your window fan. Your window fan is sucking in some very nice, good, cool air from the night to cool the inside of the house for you. Some idiot goes out there and takes this big cardboard box, flat box, cutaway, and put it in front of that unit to stop the air from being sucked outside. To now the fan is not only burning down on itself, because it can't pull, so it's now putting a burden on the motor. You're not getting no cool air in the house. So not only is the fan motor overheating because it's blocked from sucking in the cool air from working properly, but you're sweating like a pig inside of the house because you can't get no cool air. What do you think is happening to your body? These toxins that your body is so desperately trying to dump through the sweating process of your head, which calls for your hair follicles to be damaged in the first place. And this is the reason why your hair became lost. Through that process, you're killing yourself, because now you're contaminating your urinary tract system, you're contaminating your tear glands in your eyes, you're contaminating your nostrils or any other place, your anus, your asshole, any place that your body secretes these toxins. These toxins are now becoming greater in number, and more of them are going through these crevices and these channels where these areas where you secrete these toxins from, and it calls for infection. Do you get the picture? Sure you do. Now that I broke it down like that, you get the picture. Now, again, the reason why there are women around the world all women around the world are not suffering from what I have just stated is because let me bring her next to the black woman over here. Although you are genetically very much like this woman in so much as far as your body temperature, where are we at? The reason why she has her hair and you do not, and many other women and men as well too, I don't have no pictures of bald men, I should have my own picture up here too, is because we run hot more frequent than those of our counterparts that do grow hair, that have a head full of hair. Your body temperatures overheat more quickly and more frequently than this woman, because when the genetics for her were bridged off of your ancestors, because she is genetically bridged off of your ancestors, as are you. She's just further away from the process genetically than you are. You're more closer to it, and this is the reason why these imperfections in your overheating is causing for your hair loss. You are more genetically closer to these creatures. Hold it. Than she is. And the reason why she is so far away is because through a process of genetic manipulation that resulted in, not only that, just it's been a contamination of genes. So this process from which you are subject to, I'm prepared to say, was not even a natural process. Through the process of creating these likenesses, which evolved through Africa, continents in Africa, because you can see through the likenesses of people the trail that was made through Egypt, through Asia, and then through the European nations. This is how this has happened. Death and resurrection. There was a genetic manipulation where you were bridged over. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. There is no one to hate here, not even me, not even yourself. The good thing is that you are aware, you have become aware by showing you these images. I hope that now you will go and understand what I have just said, rather than be ignorant and shrug it off like it's nothing. I'm telling you that there is a problem, and the problem was caused by through unnatural processes, from where black people genes, African genes. Let me stop saying black. Somebody said gone on me about stating black. African genes were cross-contaminated with reptilians and with land animals alike. The evidence is there. If you haven't watched my videos, please watch my videos. Get an understanding, people. But understand one thing for sure and two things for certain. That what has happened to you here, you're not alone. There are creatures from which we evolved that share and bear likenesses to that of what is happening to you. And if you look at it on a global scale, look at your ancestry from that through Africa. The genetic process from which mankind evolved and was bridged over. There is a genetic trail, and I guarantee you, if you trace your genetics from this creature, meaning from your African ancestors, you will see the trail. And compare these different likenesses and variations of apes, and I bet you can find civilizations of people, their culture groups, that match the likenesses of these creatures because they were genetically tampered with. And this is how we have, just like we have the different likenesses of black man on that continent, this is why we have the, and different likenesses of man. Look at how the same way that we got from the blackest state, well, where's that black, well, from the blackest of ape through to African and to finally becoming lighter versions. The trail is all through the continent of Africa. Look at the Egyptians, then start looking at all of the other Asian groups, to finally we got to our white counterparts. And the reason why they look, I almost hate to say this, almost like genetically perfect, almost like genetically picture perfect, is because they were created on a much later scale than you. They were created through your ancestry. Everyone, even Asians, created through your ancestry. But it wasn't by coincidence that they were created. It was by a precise hand that they were created. Where's that picture at? Let me bring that picture back up. So people, I'm going to leave you with that because I'm going to run out of minutes here. I made this an hour-long video. I thought it was going to be shorter. Everyone up here, African people, was created through a genetic process which subsequently calls for your demise, or will cause for your demise. Running away from the extinction process has us evolved to this point. Everything else in between was a chemistry of bridging over, which resulted to where we are right here. This is where we are. You know that wheel of life they talk about? That's what this is all about. Began with monkey, then African, then on to the Asian world. See how the likenesses started getting lighter and lighter and lighter and just kept going to finally here. And it's amazing because most of our Asian culture groups, and their hair is dark in color, more so like the monkey than ours, and like Africans. Africans' hair is black, more so like the monkey. I gotta hear him stop this video. Africans' hair are more so like this. Then Asian came along, and Egyptian, and their hair became more straighter. So almost like this. And the bridgings, the genetic manipulations, once the lions and tigers and all of those genetics became introduced, we started getting red heads, green eyes, and everything else. I guarantee you that if a scientific study was done on what I am stating here, they will find out that the hair loss of not just these creatures, but many other creatures of mankind globally. The reason why they suffer from hair loss is because they run a higher body temperature, more frequent, and more often, and more hotter than the normal person from which were created or bridged over after these creatures were created. And those that are more genetically close to this creature in color, now, and that's another thing too, people. The darker likenesses of our kind, just that in itself attracts heat. Just being dark, period, attracts heat. So evolving away to becoming lighter versions also causes for a cooler version. All of these chemistries of who you are calls for that overheating to take place. I'm going to get going on that note. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. I hope you like this video.